A lot of people are really fearful of flying, really fearful.
Like getting on the plane, like the actual plane?
The actual getting on the plane.
Jillian used to not have this problem until John Phillips started sending her plane crash stories.
I used to go
That's a good friend for you,
and
isn't it?
fly once a month, no
He
problem,
ruined
to
you.
HSN. And then he would say to me, every time I get on a plane, I envision it crashing. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, I have such an anxiety, and I said, well, you take a Xanax or have I don't understand. And he got so in my head that every time I got on a plane, that's all I could think about. Then I would be in the air flying, watching a movie, and I would start thinking, this is not normal to be 30,000 feet above. And when the pilot would come on and say, we're now at an altitude, I would want to yell, shut up. Why are you reminding me that we're 33,000 feet above the earth? It
All
doesn't
I think
make
about
sense.
on a plane is, what should I be drinking? Because you never know what time zone you're in.
I know,
Should
I
you
was
have a
like-
I
cocktail?
picture Dorothy wanting to drink, of course, and checking out women's necks.
Yes, always.
All right, 909, let's introduce our guest right now. She is Laura Rhodes-Levin. Probably Levin, not Levin. Am I correct, Laura?
It is Levin. You were perfect the first time.
Okay. Laura Rhodes-Levin is with us, founder of the Missing Peace Center for Anxiety, peace as in P-E-A-C-E.
What is that?
Peace.
The Missing Peace Center for Anxiety. I feel like I could be part of it, but I don't know that mine's necessarily only about flying. I have anxiety.
Well, we all have anxiety, and it's actually what's right with us, not what's wrong with us. A fight-flight response is essential to our survival. It's when it takes over and it starts to feel irrational that we freak out a little bit.
But is flying an irrational fear? I don't think it is. I mean, I have a fear of great white sharks. I won't go in the ocean, so I don't have to face that fear. Flying is a part of everybody's life, whether it's business or personal. How do you get around that?
Well, and that's why I say feels irrational, because our emotions have nothing to do with our frontal cortex. You could give someone all the statistics in the world about how it's so much safer to fly than drive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that's a different part of our brain.
Right.
So it's like scratching your head to itch your foot. It's not going to work.
Exactly.
I
You
feel
can't
like-
rationalize somebody else's fears. Yeah,
I feel like our kids have so much anxiety now.
they do. Yeah.
They really do. Our brains are doing so much more than what we are programmed to do. Our bodies, we're not as modern as we think we are. The truth is. And we even have to invent exercise because we're not out hunting mammoths anymore. We're not out there doing all these things. So we have to create false scenarios for our bodies to stay in shape. And our brains are the same way. Our brains are so much busier than they ever were. We're not putting a letter on a pony and waiting for a response 3 months later.
But I think that's why people
every 2
self-medicate.
seconds.
Your brain doesn't shut down, whether it's with a Xanax or drinking, because Dr. Drew, who's a colleague of ours, will tell you that these deaths have gone up from prescription pills. And I think a lot of it is just you want to shut your brain off. My daughter is 12 and she comes home and worried about, is the world going to end? Are we going to be on fire because of, this, we don't take care of our planet? There's so much anxiety on every level, right? And then, I'll have anxiety about other things, grown-up things. I feel like we're just living in this state of anxiety.
We really are, and we don't have to. We just have to take care of ourselves, just like you would take care of yourself physically. And I feel like we're finally getting into a mindset where mental health can be dealt with preemptively, just like, acai berries or
How so?
working on
Getting like a shrink to talk about it? How do we do it preemptively?
Meditation.
a shrink meditation. One of the reasons I founded the center is I think I'm a good therapist. I really do. But it takes way more than flour to make a cake. Just talking about it is not helpful. And even though we joke or are even serious about Xanax and drinking, drinking is a depressant and it may relax you in the moment, but it doesn't do anything for your actual anxiety, that part of your brain. And all those anxiety meds spike your anxiety because you get a rebound anxiety. It suppresses it at first. Your body doesn't realize it's being suppressed, so it fights against it. And when it wears off, your anxiety shoots through the roof.
Well,
Plus,
I know
benzos
there's
are
no
addictive.
short-term cure, but what can you do in the moment just to help the situation?
Chardonnay. Oh, sorry.
No, she just said that doesn't help.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it helps in the moment.
No, it helps, but it's a different kind of help. So
Well, it's a short term, and also alcohol's a depressant too, right? So it can make it worse in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Laura Rhodes-Levin is with us. She's LMFT, which I believe is licensed marriage family therapist, correct?
Correct again.
Oh, boy, I'm on a roll here. In the therapeutic environment, or as Dr. Freud would say, when the analysis sand approaches the... Okay. When you sit down, when somebody comes to see you, and they're coming to see you because they can't get on an airplane, and either they have to get drunk or they can't get on an airplane, does it speak to you? Does it speak to you that there may be other issues that are being manifested in this symptom?
Absolutely. All of us, most of us, I should say, are control freaks. You're completely not in control of what's going on. You're experiencing sensations that you don't feel on a regular basis unless you fly all the time. But this is where I feel like it's so important to soothe your body. Our frontal cortex is an egomaniac, and it wants to think its way out of everything, but it's very limited on what it can do. Because, as I said, if you're feeling fear, thinking about it is not your way out. I like to talk to people about soothing their body and about being more in the moment, where we used to talk about mindfulness in this way of just like, well, wouldn't that be lovely to be more present? But if you really can check in with your five senses, you're in for a whole other treat. If your dog is triggered and anxious about something, you're not going to say to your dog, "What triggered you, Fluffy?" You're gonna soothe that animal. So our five senses are so important, and I don't mean it to sound trite, but I'm trying to reintroduce the phrase "come to your senses" because I think that meant something once. Smell is such an important way to get in touch with the body. Smell is a time machine, really. If you smell something good, pleasant, or unpleasant,
Are you hearing this, Steve?
transported.
So go buy Cinnabon before you get on the plane?
There you go.
Go by what?
Cinnabon.
Never mind. It's
Cinnabon.
his attempt
There
to
you go.
joke.
Well, actually, even though I try to avoid the eating thing as well, but the reason why Cinnabon is so fun is, one, it smells great, but taste is another sensation. If you're engaging three of your senses at a time, it's very hard to think about your problems. That's why people love Hawaii. They get off the plane, they feel the air on their skin, it looks beautiful, it smells beautiful, it sounds great, and you don't care about your taxes.
You don't care.
when
You don't
you're
care.
in Hawaii.
But when you come back from Hawaii to LAX,
You got it. It's a whole other nightmare.
even the non-anxious start feeling some of
Okay.
that. Listen, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, are we wrapping up? So I was going to say smell, watch those movies, be in your chair, even thinking about where am I right now, and getting in touch with how does the chair feel, walk around a little bit, listening to music, just engaging those senses to be present.
I think the
Makes
cure
all
is
the difference.
call you because you have the most soothing voice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Laura Rhodes-Levin, LMFT, founder of the Missing Peace Center for Anxiety. Enjoy speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a beautiful morning and stay safe.
Thank you.